What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
What up?
Hello.
All right,
Three.
episode 3. We made it this far.
Wow.
We got 3 more to go. We're retiring.
All right, guys. I'm Matt. The dude in the middle there is Legionless, and the faceless man is Face.
I'm really disappointed that my icon is so small because I went to extra
I'm-
effort this week to get a nice icon.
Send me the icon, and I'll just hover it over.
Okay. Let me find it.
Perfect. We're professional.
Here we go.
So Matt, what do we got going on tonight?
Well, tonight the main topic is going to be the Summer Solstice event, which I'm sure we've all been grinding the gear out for that.
And great
Okay.
event.
It's a great event.
Loving it.
Some people like
loving
it. Some people don't like it.
A lot of people don't like it.
I mean,
lot of people
I definitely
complaining.
had negative things to say at first. It's not as negative now. I'm
I
in
heard there
love
was
with
a
it.
Discord server that harassed its members who complained about the event.
Oh yeah, me too.
That
Some-
must have been weird.
Something about SpongeBob.
Too many SpongeBob gifs.
Probably. That's legit.
Happens
We're-
to the best.
We're gonna go over the TWAB first, though, because it's some interesting information about when Shadowkeep is going to launch now.
Yeah.
So
Like a 2-week delay.
we're gonna get it the 17th of September. We're not getting it October 1st, which I didn't mind so much at first, but now that we know when the raid window is, I won't be in town, and I'm not gonna be able to raid day 1 anyway. So I'm happy that they're doing the extra work to get the game out right. I'm just upset that I'm gonna miss the raid.
Yeah, that sucks. That's unfortunate.
But it's okay. I'll be watching you guys in the hotel wherever I
yeah.
am. I'll be excited to see what the raid is like and all that.
Heard
Um,
we're gonna get 3rd place.
3rd place.
That's the goal. Not first place because that'd be weird. But like
Yeah.
third is like comfortable, right?
Can't have an underdog take 1st place. A no name group can't come and steal the show.
Well, except for that one pug for Eater, but that was a blip on the radar.
We don't talk about them. Didn't happen.
All
I
right.
do like that they announced that there will be the challenger, or
Yeah,
the
the-
contest, but it's
yeah,
going to be on
contest
Saturday this
modifier.
time.
Oh, that's huge. I think so as well. Make more people get involved because obviously the weekend is a good time to do that stuff.
Yeah,
It's a good
it
way
just
to
works
cap
out
the
for-
difficulty.
And it works out for NA, EU, Australia, whoever.
Exactly. I was gonna ask you a question. I forgot. Do we know what the delta is gonna be like we did for Crown, for the challenge mode or the challenge
No,
day?
we don't even know.
So they didn't
how
say
much
anything.
The power level is going to be raised.
Gotcha.
Well, they said that
probably
contest was
300.
going to be active.
What's
I think
that?
it's going to go up by 300.
Yeah, we're going to a solid 1K.
I feel
I
like that
highly
would
doubt
make
it.
sense, but I heard rumors of 900. So who
I'd
knows?
be surprised if we go past 800.
Yeah.
This is a Rise of Iron, not another Taken King.
Or Forsaken for that matter, right?
We're at
Yeah.
750 already.
I could
You
see-
think they're only going to go up 50?
Maybe they'll do 100. Maybe they do 150 just to keep it even. We only went up 200?
I
Question mark?
could see like another 200 there.
We only went up 200 for Forsaken.
I think they'll go up 100, and then with each of the 3 seasons, another 500. So we end at 1,000 next year. This time
That would be
next year,
really interesting.
and then Destiny 3 comes out.
That's probably gonna be what happens.
Yep.
But
Regardless, as far as the contest modifier goes, they mentioned that contests will be active, which makes me believe that it'll just be the same type of modifier that we had this last time, wherein it sets it at a certain level underneath. So regardless of what the future light levels will be, I'd imagine they won't do more than 30 under.
Yeah, I think it'll be the same
That's
Delta
Crown.
scaling we were seeing the last time.
I mean, I'd be fine with that. And if it's that marginal, having those few days to get there is just going to be so like much less stressful for people that actually want it. Like, I just feel like it makes it more accessible across the board for everybody to try this raid day one.
It'll be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
If it's 20 levels, I can do my first character. I'll just do my Titan because who cares about Titans?
Oof.
And then it'll say, did I get
hate
20
to see
levels?
it.
If so, I'll just hop onto my Warlock and play the class I enjoy. If not, I might have to actually level up both of them, but we'll have time.
Well, I mean, getting the 720, I don't remember being hard. So I feel like you could get.
I mean, we had
Nope.
6 hours.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you having 4 days.
Yeah.
I think everybody would have
I
been
was,
there
I
already.
was in that Delta scale the whole time. So
See?
it wasn't like that bad of a raid once you get to the
Yeah,
Delta.
I agree. Especially like the beginning encounters too. Like, really not that bad at
Boring ass
all.
Piece of shit.
People just like to complain, so that's where all like the complaints were. Why we didn't finish night one.
Yeah, exactly, Ed. That's what we were just saying. Like, way more accessible across the board. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. Like, maybe not a Twitch streamer will get like the world's first. You know, it'll be some like no name guys. It'd be really cool to see.
Well, that's unlikely.
Well, yeah, but you never know. I mean, it'd be cool to see somebody else outside of that like whole Twitch audience get it.
Anything else in the TWAB?
I mean, it's pretty bare bones.
I don't think anything stood out.
Yeah, like nothing crazy.
Oh, they did say next week is when they're gonna start seeing like the Steam information that we've been waiting for.
Oh, for Shadowkeep.
Yeah, how the migration is gonna look.
Mm.
So it'll be good.
Oh, but wait, we did get the new launch window. With the new launch window, somewhere in there, they gave us information on updates 7.2.2.2,
Which is weird.
something like that.
What was
Trying to scroll up now.
what was about that?
I think there were a few quality of life
Full
changes.
details.
Oh, right. Like Reckoning is gonna be updated. That's like the thing I was most hyped for. I'll actually grind the heck out of
Oh, okay.
Reckoning for spare rations and for a Doomsday grenade launcher.
Oh yeah, I want that Doomsday.
Definitely a couple more things to add. I'll bring
Uh,
up the volume. That's fine.
The Braid Tech schematic change is nice. A nerf to the Pinnacle quest for Mountaintop and Wendigo.
Yep, huge.
I would imagine
Yeah.
that that's going to be followed by a nerf to the actual Mountaintop weapon. But I don't know if Mountaintop's good because of what it is, or if it's good because grenade launchers are just OP right now.
So
So it'll be
maybe.
interesting to see how Bungie responds to that.
So if that's the case, it might just be a grenade launcher like nerf altogether. Who knows?
Which, like, if they just
Well-
removed spike nades from the game, grenade launchers still do a ton of damage, way more than they need
Yeah.
to.
I see them nerfing grenade launchers across the board and then buffing another damage weapon, just so like we have these kind of like seasons where one thing is the strongest and then something else is even more strong, or not even more strong, but one thing is like we have
It's the meta. It's what we use.
Right.
That could be interesting. I don't. It'll be especially interesting to see because they're doing that with artifacts, where you're going to be forced to change your artifact every season.
Yeah.
So they're definitely not opposed to doing that sort of thing. So we'll have to see where it turns out. And then
Yeah,
they added
definitely.
a few other Infamy and Valor bonuses. Which
Did you
is
say
nice.
Moments of Triumph getting extended to September 17th now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's getting
not the
extended, which is
Solstice.
really
Not
nice.
Solstice, just the Moments of Triumph, which is still pretty cool. And then we're
Yeah,
getting
isn't
we're
it
getting an
amazing, though?
additional Iron Banner too because of the weight.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I still never finished the quest for like the armor for Iron Banner just because like it's really annoying, and so it's
Yeah, I didn't
great
like
that
that
got
quest either.
adjusted. And Iron Banner is just not that fun. I think like some people love it. I don't really like 6v6, so I don't play that much when it's around each week. But yeah, really looking forward to the Reckoning being updated.
Same. I'll
I-
definitely mess with it when they do that.
Even if they don't make it easier / more fun, just them increasing the drop rates and then adding drop rate protection is enough to get me back in it. Obviously, I'll have more fun if they add more quality of life to that, but having a way to grind out the spare rations and then the Doomsday grenade launchers is enough for me, because the spare rations is so good.
I
It
haven't
is
got
so
one.
good. Oh, I've got a great roll with like full bore ricochet rounds, rapid hit, and multi-kill clip. It's got a handling masterwork, and it didn't get the range matchwork, but it's straight up and down recoil.
Mm.
And if you can get a couple different things, like if it was the perfect roll, outranges ace, which is crazy.
Interesting.
Yep, it's like range finder, obviously range masterwork, and then I can't remember the other thing that I would have needed for it to like be competing with ace.
All right,
Okay.
guys, are we good on the TWAB?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, we
other than
covered
that,
most
there's
of
just
it.
other than
the only thing to
that
add
there's
would
more
be-
quality of life changes.
Only thing I'd add would be November 3rd, we're getting a community public event or some sort of community event.
Really? I
It'll
didn't
be
even know
interesting
that.
to see what that is.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool.
Yep.
That's all I got.
All right, let's go on to the main topic. So Solstice is here again.
Yep.
I just before we got on here, just finished my first character's gear, and
I
it's
finished mine like 2
fucking
days ago.
dope. The ornaments
Yeah, the
make it.
gear looks amazing.
Yeah, the ornaments make it for sure. I was like, yes, so cool. So what do you guys think about the grind?
I think it's fine. Like, I would even say that I really like it because it's so like thinking from like the uber casual people. It's bringing all of the quests that they've been collecting throughout the year together, and it's like lining up really well with the current armor quest. So like the reason why you're going to do like public events at Nessus is because that's for the forgers back in the first season, and then like all the other little things going on with the quest just directly link with other exotic weapon quests and other content that we've gotten. So it's perfect for like the casual player. And let's be honest, those guys are probably only going to do one character anyway. They've only got one character, and then it's fine for us with 3 characters playing a lot because we're gonna get it in the even before they extended the timer. We're gonna 3 characters done.
The amount
like
of time
we've-
to get the armor is not extended though.
No.
That's
Well-
not a triumph.
Well, what I mean is masterwork. You just have to get the legendary version of the sets, and that's not too bad.
It's nearly 4 weeks, right?
Yep.
No, I mean, after doing one character, I definitely was a sourpuss about it at first. I hated the idea that there was so much. None of the stuff is hard in there. We could all agree on that, right? It's pretty casual activities. It's just the amount of those activities or kills or whatever you may need for like whichever piece of gear. But
Yeah.
once I started doing it, I realized obviously it's not meant to be like a 1 day thing. Like I know people have done that, but I mean that's gotta be brutal. But it's meant to, be in that like 4 week span. Just kind of just go along, do your things, chill with the buddy, do it solo, whatever.
Yeah,
But I'm more
almost
okay with it
done-
now.
I'm almost done with my second character, and I just play a couple nights in the evening after work, and most of the time it's just either solo or duo.
There you go.
So
It's
it's
definitely cash.
not a big deal at all. Even
Mhm.
with like the 100 mini bosses that people have been excessively complaining about.
Shall we
it's-
talk about the cheese?
I mean, it's not even really that much faster.
No, it's
if you,
not.
If you,
It's more convenient.
I suppose. But what I like about the 100 mini bosses, even though people complain about it, is it's putting you in the activity. Like the event isn't about it's about getting the armor, but you also want to be getting the packages, or you're not going to get other rolls of armor because the chests directly give you chances at the armor. So I like how it all works together, even though people just want to get the set and be done, which I get, but it's not really the bread, or I guess the meat of the event.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the problem with the 100 mini bosses step is that it's fastest if you do the first half of the activity and then leave. And then you get people who are fed into that activity if one person doesn't leave. Or I don't know how if they could be fed in if everyone leaves. And
Or
now
you're saying leave
loaded
before
in,
the chest part? Before you're going for the
which
chest?
is what a lot of people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Makes sense.
did a run today. We had so many mini bosses that we got 12 chests at the end, and they
Wow.
all left. And
Yeah.
it's like I'm sitting there like, okay, I guess I'm putting on stoppies and running around to get 12 chests then.
Now, did you actually get them all?
I got
out of
10.
curiosity? That's not bad.
It's actually
So-
easier to get chests with more of them. It's like just running
Yeah.
past.
They spawn all over the place.
I think
Yeah.
at first that part like kind of frightened me, but like once you start learning the locations and stuff, becomes like a little easier over time. And you're meant to do that activity a bunch, so you're gonna get more comfortable in there and locate the chests. Now, name something, Face, that you like really like about the event.
The EAZ is amazing.
Yeah.
I love this place so much. I've always been like, there's all these fancy buildings and we have the Leviathan, but we never really go into the buildings. We got a little bit of it in Forsaken when we went inside the crashed Dreadnought. That was really cool. But now we're like, sure, there's a lot of locked off doors, but we're running through the buildings, we're running up and down.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
aerial aspect is phenomenal, even though so many times, like you'll be standing in the middle of the square, looking towards spawn to the right. There's a mini boss. There's 2 mini boss spawns on top of those roofs. It's super easy to climb up the outside of the building to get in there. But I'll see people who can't make those jumps or don't know about them or whatever running up into the building to get
Yeah,
up there.
and getting really confused and lost.
Yes, and it's like, okay, you just spun around a staircase 3
Yeah.
times just to get up to the top when you could just jump on the outside with me. I love the arrow or the aerial aspect of it, the verticality of it.
Yeah.
It's just
Yep.
I thought
wish
that was
that
smart of them
those-
too.
fallen things, the fallen transponders are nice being on the edges, but they should either be more reliable or shorter distance and more of them. Like
Yeah.
jump pads, kind of.
No, I agree because
Yeah. that'd be
they
kinda
pretty
cool.
much just spawn you like in the middle, right? And it just drops you.
Yep.
And instead,
Yeah.
maybe having a few other ones, maybe like 4 corners or whatever would be cool.
I don't know if it's always in the middle because I've had some that spawn me on like the far end instead of over in the middle or whatever. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
It'd
yes,
be kind of cool if it like puts you up in the air and then shot you way up in this. Like if you're way up in the sky and then you get shot like a boom cannon in the air.
Yeah, that could be great. And then
Oh,
just the
right.
activity as a whole is pretty fun. Running around to get mini bosses. It's irritating when they're on the other side of the map, but traversing this area is fun enough because of all of the jumping that you'd end up doing.
Yeah.
Even on
Yeah.
Warlock, it's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be since I started off on my Hunter. You can use your Sparrow, and then the running around to get chests at the end is great. It's exactly what Legion was talking about.
Mhm.
People shouldn't be leaving the activity because you kill all the bosses, and then at the end you get chests. And the number of bosses you kill doesn't impact it enough that people are like, oh, we're only getting 4 bosses and 4 boxes at the end. I'm going to leave right now.
Well,
You
like
get enough loot.
Beakers mentioned it too. You only need the 50 chests for the gear, right? So
Mhm.
once you get those, and if you're just strictly trying to get the gear ready to go, you're really just looking for those 100 boss kills. And if you're trying to speed through it, I understand why people are leaving, and it definitely is frustrating. But like, how would you even fix that? You would have to like take that step quest out. I don't know, like out of the gear. But they're definitely not gonna do that.
I mean, the only like compromise that I really see that I can kind of agree with is what everyone's been saying is making the mini bosses count for like the entire group in the activity. So just
That
do
would be
that
great.
Yeah.
because you can get 12 mini bosses in a run. So there's 12 out of the 100. Just do like 10 runs. Look at the cat trying to get in.
Beakers actually said 50 mini bosses and 100 chests would make more sense. It's backwards. I think that would actually probably fix that a little bit too.
I don't mind 100 mini bosses,
Mhm.
just the having to run around and tag them, which I don't know how they intended us to do this activity, but it makes way more sense to split up,
Yeah,
kill them
and
individually,
have it all
so we
count
can get
anyway.
more of them.
Yeah. No, I agree with that too. That does make sense. So, Legionless, you name something that you like from the event.
Just kind of what I was saying earlier, how the entire armor quest line matches up with so many other quests and content that we've gotten throughout the year. So it's like, so for example, for me, on my third character, I hadn't completely finished the Forge quest line. So like I did it on the first two, which some people say is crazy, but like whatever. And so just doing the armor on my third character, and I'm almost done with unlocking all the forges on my last character. So, if that's good for me, obviously it's gonna trickle down and be great for everyone else who hasn't done the forges yet, or maybe wants to do it on a second or third character.
For me, I just like, I didn't think about this at first, but I just like that we could get into a large Discord group, BS with people, and it's all kind of just mindless activity. So really, it helps for me on my end to be a little more social with players, and then just kind of get the activities done. So I think that was pretty cool for me, anyway.
Yeah,
Base.
I'm having a bunch of fun with the activity. And
That's a good point.
Quest.
I've been helping out my friends who are new to the game, play this stuff, and there's all sorts of stuff. They're like one of them didn't know that you have to slam all the balls to make the spider tank one heroic. So he went and he killed the tank, and he's like, "Guys, I killed the tank," and we're all like, but it's great because I'm getting to take them through and show them all the different parts of the game. And honestly, if you just played the game normally and did whatever you're feeling like doing, as long as you do a little bit of everything, you're gonna get it eventually.
Yep.
There's nothing difficult.
Yep.
And that's what I mean, like kind of like mindless, like just play, and then you're gonna eventually hit it. Now, Pace, give me something you don't like about the event.
Numbering the amount of gambit and strikes that I need to do. I fucking hate it. Doing 10 gambit or crucible matches is not bad, but then you get people in, like the first night we did it, I'm going to have anecdotes for almost all of these. The first night we did it, we were playing gambit, and I was invading, and I was actually doing really well, and it was a lot of fun. I normally don't invade in gambit, but with my friends, I'm the only one who's got the gear to invade. So I go in, and we have this guy with 8 motes. I'm sitting in front of the portal. I'm like, hey, everyone, bank your motes so I can invade into the team chat. He runs to the heavy. He takes the heavy. He looks at the bank, looks at me, and then runs off to the next wave of ads. So naturally, being very polite, I message him. I'm like, hey, man, it's totally fine with me if you invade. Just please bank so we get the invade right away. And at the end, he's like, oh, I hate this. I'm only doing this because Bungie makes us do stupid Crucible activities or PvP activities for PvE gear. I never want to invade it. I'm out of here as soon as I get this stuff. And I'm like, oh, so you have no desire to play this activity. You don't know how to play the activity. And you're just kind of being in here being grumpy. That's a little frustrating for me. I know that if they didn't say you have to do so many games, then people would just end up going to Lost Sector strikes and strikes like I'm currently doing for some of the blue stuff. Like Strike Corps, I didn't do legit strikes for that. Just went into a Lost Sector and farmed that, and it was so easy. You could probably do it in strikes though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I see that as like it's a really dumb complaint people have at so like the exotic quests and people complaining that they have to do like a little bit of Crucible or they had to do this or that. I think it's just really like it's just so short sighted. Maybe if there was more activities, I guess, but I think most of the people that dislike Crucible just don't play it, and that's why they don't like it. And
Well, it can
if
be
they-
kind of bad if you're trying to play it like you play PvE, you're gonna have a bad time.
yeah, but I mean it's really not that big of a deal, I think. So I personally don't understand why people complain about it so much.
My specific complaint was that I can't do anything to get that step done faster. Me, someone who really enjoys Gambit, and I like to think I'm pretty good at it. I've got the Triumphant Reaper emblem and everything. And someone who absolutely hates it have to do the exact same amount for this step. There's nothing I can do to like make the grind more bearable. I could win games faster, but not when I'm with blueberries who don't know how to play the game.
All right, Legion, you tell me something you do not like about the event.
Everybody complaining about how grindy it is. That's just
that was a give me.
come on. It's not a very quest. It's very easy.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, I've not been going in as hard as other people can, and I'm almost done with my second year.
Yeah, and like I said, like that's what's cool. Like you could just go through the content the way you want to. We had one guy in the clan freaking doing it in under 24 hours with his first character, which is crazy to me. Like he definitely went in. But good for him. If that's what you want to do, you can do it. If not, you have 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, whatever it is, and you know, is that the GIF? So for me, it's one particular one, and I don't know why it bothers me because it's really not bad. But the 50 bounties, it just threw me off and makes me like have agita. Like I just can't like 50 bounties. But other than that,
that's so easy.
no, it is.
You
Some
can
of the
pick up, like,
and it's
70
any bounty,
bounties.
and it's like any one. It doesn't matter, like the Eververse ones, whatever. So it's
You get almost
easy.
20 just from the Drifter.
But you see that number, and I'm just like, fuck.
It goes down so fast.
Yeah, no, it's honestly one of the easiest things to do in there, from my experience. But that's just something that just made me nervous about the whole situation. But yeah. So I'm definitely gonna skip that next part because I don't think it's punishing or challenging. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it fun. It's not supposed to be like top tier uber difficult content. It's just supposed to be bringing everyone together for a social event.
And I could definitely say it's done that. Like getting a general chat up to like 9 people just BSing is really fun. You know, doing mindless stuff. So I don't remember too much of last year's grind, but if you guys had to pick which one was worse, which one is worse, this year or last year?
Well, last year was just redoing missions with like a different
flair on them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was
There was other stuff too.
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't think it was
I
like
specifically remember like 20 arc Crucible super kills or something. I hated that.
Happer said this is 1 million times 1 million times more boring. I could
I
see
don't
that,
know.
but one
remember-
adjustment I noticed is, and a lot of people noticed it, not just me, that the orb spawned way less last year. Right?
Like they spawn more now.
Like they spawn like you're like more guaranteed to get the orb drops, like solar, arc, and the void orbs.
yeah.
And last year they were a little bit more to like get to spawn, but then at the same time they raised that number way up, so like you had to get more of them.
I don't know. I remember things about last year that I didn't like, and then now
Yeah.
looking back a year back, they were like I don't remember all the little nuanced bullshit that I didn't like, but rerunning missions, I remember being pretty old with that after 1 or 2 times.
As far as the orbs spawn stuff and like how they despawn so quickly, I think that's because they learned their lesson from the Revelry when there were a ton of orbs that spawned pretty much constantly, and it would end up crashing game modes, especially for people on console.
That's what
Yeah,
I
that's why
initially thought.
That's why they go away so fast.
The only thing they could have made them a little longer, because I feel like it's too short sometimes. You'll be coming like from across the map, just a little longer, and still maintain that same effect. So obviously you don't want your games to crash and all that.
It's
but-
frustrating because it encourages the close range weapons that are currently OP. Spare Rations and Recluse and Mountaintop and
That's
all
a good
that.
point, actually.
It discourages stuff like Scouts and Pulses and Bows, even though they're shit.
I
and
didn't
no
even
one
think
uses them
about
anyway.
that. It makes you play differently for sure. Okay.
Well, they should just cap how many can spawn or could be on the field at a time. And so if you're like, hey, no more spawning, it's like, oh well, I have to pick them up. And obviously, like, keep the same despawn timer, but have that also play an effect. You can only have so much at one time. If you're like killing ads so aggressively that a ton are popping all at once, you don't want the game to.
As to whether or not this is better than last year, I really enjoyed having those missions come back, and some of them were difficult, especially because
Yep.
you were using you had to do it with a certain piece on. So you had that piece on, and you were a lot lower than you normally are.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. I don't know. Personally, I'd much prefer if all of these upgrade pieces were triumphs, so that I don't swap to an exotic and then forget to swap off of it and turn in bounties. And now I've got to go do another day's worth of solstice bounties because I forgot to do that. So,
I finally finished that, so I don't need to. Or, I mean, I did that on my character, so I don't need to worry about the solstice bounties until I eventually get to the third one, which I'm not really like in a rush to finish now that I've gotten the first character done, because as I like, you just need to put a couple hours in. Even you can even skip nights, and you're gonna get all three characters done by the event.
I've played like 3 or 4 days this week.
Yeah,
And
I missed
I've got my lock done, so
I missed like
Yep.
a day in there, but I got the lock done. So I'm
I got my
happy.
lock done, my Hunter's on blues, and my Titan is almost out of greens.
All right, so you actually like mixing and matching there.
Yeah. It
Oh,
gets really boring when you just do the same thing on the same character for a while.
now I wasn't gonna ask. It wasn't on the sheet there, but which character do you think is the hardest one to get the gear for? Because I know they're all a little different. They have like a couple
I
little
think the
tweaks.
general consensus is that the warlock is the hardest.
Oh, thank God I got him out of the way. Oh yeah, feels good.
I liked doing 25 patrols on Titan. They were quick, they were easy.
They were
It
quick
was
though.
a really small space. Using a sparrow on there is a shit show because of all the boxes. But yeah, it was fun. I liked doing that, and I actually got a fair number of high value targets while doing that too. So man, like I didn't like. There's something that I did where I ended up having to go do extra stuff instead of just playing the game, and that was irritating.
What do you mean?
Oh, it was the generating 1,500 orbs, but I think that's the same for everyone, so that's not a warlock thing.
Well, they weren't that bad, Beakers. I did it like an hour and a half, all 25. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
only done the Nessus ones, and like it's not that big a deal. I think I was doing public events at the same time, and they almost lined up perfectly.
Well, like,
With
if
the
you're doing
completion.
Titan events or Titan patrols, the trick is to not pick up the elimination ones or the gathering ones, because the spawns are weird and small. But it's a really small area. Just
Mhm.
pick up the ones where you have to go stand somewhere, and you're there in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was pretty fast. I had no issue with that one actually.
Nope.
So
And Titan's pretty easy. I think the hardest was Warlock, then Hunter, then Titan.
good. So I put a Twitter poll up for a couple questions here.
All
And
right.
I wanted to know what the community thought, or if they thought that they were going to do all three of their characters or just one. was actually pretty mixed. 48% said yes, 52 said no. So that's actually pretty interesting. You got your hardcore, and then just the casuals just want the One Piece on their favorite.
But we have so long to do it.
Yeah,
We
I
have
agree.
4 weeks. Like,
Yep.
at the very least, just pick them up and play the game with the armor equipped, and you'll end up doing more than one. As long as you play more than one character. I
Mhm.
normally only play by Warlock, so if I don't try, I probably won't get all 3.
It forces you to play the other classes too, which is kind of a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all 3 characters.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying, I've just been playing like a couple nights, a couple hours each night, and then even yesterday I didn't play at all, and I have no doubt that I'll finish all 3 characters by the
Yeah.
end.
Well, 4 weeks though, Rex. Think about it. A character a week even, and you're there.
It feels like a lot if you just say a character a week,
Mhm.
but it's not going to be.
Yeah, you don't even need the full week. But like, if you even like limit your playtime for a week, you'll get there.
I think it also depends on the bounties. Like, that one's the most annoying because most bounties aren't in a really good spot for either giving you rewards or anything.
Mhm.
Like, if I want 10 planetary materials, I'm just going to go to the spider. I'm not going to go do a bounty.
Yeah.
That's true.
So that's something you definitely have to go out of your way to do, to remember to pick everything up and do them all. But when you're doing a gambit activity, 10 gambit matches, it's pretty easy to get those bounties done.
So
Yeah, I agree.
I think we touched upon this a little bit already, but I guess we should talk about it a little more too. So we'll go to Legion. What do you think about the EAZ activity as like a whole?
I think it's really good. Like, it's a casual, low tier activity. I can just go in, like, put on Netflix or Hulu or something, and just play around in. Try and like get as many boss kills as possible, just so I can get more chests. And then I like how the chests completely hidden, and you have to walk up to them to find them. So that's pretty cool. I wish the chests, the packages drop each time.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get the keys. Like, I'm like on the second day rocking almost 2K keys.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
yeah, I think that would have been I think they really underestimated how easy people are going to be getting keys for the packages. Yeah, I think the activity itself is pretty good for what it is. This is just a casual event to bring people together, and we're going to be getting materials, armor, shards, all that stuff that people need to go into Shadowkeep. So I think it's a good event.
Yeah, I agree. We already heard Face you talk about it. The one thing I love is that once you have the Majestic set on that character, you could go in there and grind different roles, like fairly easily too. And I think that's pretty freaking cool.
I was talking about that with someone. I would actually prefer if, and I know people hate it, but I'd prefer if it dropped tokens. Like, give me a token. Like, I've been playing WoW, and they've got these prismatic mana pearls that you collect, and then you can go and buy an item that, when used, will give you a specific piece, like a specific slot. If we had something like that, I'd be a lot happier. But as it is, boxes aren't hard to get, keys aren't hard to get. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be kind of neat. I just don't know if it really lines up with like what the event is supposed to be. But I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Halford brings up a pretty good point. The roles really don't mean anything now. So I wonder if you're going to be able to grind the 2.0 set of gear in there and Shadowkeep, because that would be pretty interesting.
I have
No,
very
it sounds
few
like
doubts that this will be removed as soon as the event's over, so I don't think we'll be doing this in Shadowkeep.
Yeah.
And then there aren't going to be rolls on armor other than stats in Shadowkeep.
Huh?
Well,
and we don't even know if those are going to end up being random or not. So
if you complete the armor now, you'll get a 2.0 in Shadowkeep. But I assume that is going to be completely random. But the whole, like, I guess, critique everyone's having now about the current armor just being useless once Shadowkeep comes, I think it's a little too soon to say how strong the new armor will be, because like the current armor we have, if the biggest difference in effectiveness is just your cooldowns once we get with the 2.0 set, then I don't know. I don't see that being a huge deal that I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna give up my perfectly rolled armor that I've been collecting for slightly faster cooldowns.
well, yeah, I suppose if we already have a perfect roll armor, so
My
it
enhanced,
really depends on what
hand
sort of
cannon
perks
loader.
they give us.
Yeah,
If the
so
perks are just the same but we can choose them, then yeah, it'll just be a quality of life update for future armor sets, and then we'll
Yep.
just keep using our same stuff. But if they add a bunch of additional perks that to change it up, which they do need to do if they want people to use 2.0, then this could be really interesting.
He just got called out. So yeah. Now, do you guys think that this gear set is absolutely essential to have before October 1st when
No.
Shadowkeep launches? You do not.
nope.
Unless they do some weird half-assed rollout where like, oh look, only this one thing from the red tower on the moon gave me 2.0 gear, and the rest of the moon critters are just giving me year 2 gear, which would be insane and stupid and so bad, but I guess we can't put that past Bungie. Then no, you should probably be drowning in year 2 or 2.0 armor by the second week or so.
Yeah.
So we don't even know. Like, I feel like as soon as we start the game, at least the legendary stuff is going to automatically be 2.0. Is that like the general consensus there?
No.
So some of the gear that drops, even if it's new gear, let's say, might just be old 1.0 style gear.
I think that anything that drops in, of course we don't know yet because they haven't told us anything, but I imagine that anything that drops from Shadowkeep locations will end up being 2.0, and I'd imagine that if they do vendor resets, which they kind of have to at this point, or people are going to riot even more, will also be
Yeah.
2.0.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of see them also not doing vendor resets just yet, but saying at the start of Shadowkeep when they will come, because they've already said that armor will be slowly, progressively added to the 2.0 pool, so sets that we have now will slowly be added. Instead of all of them coming up at Shadowkeep.
I wouldn't say it's essential, but I think it's nice. You could start off the new campaign with 2.0 gear right out the gate. You know, so at least you have like, a head start, I guess. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can really speculate too much about Shadowkeep with the very limited amount of information we've gotten so far. Because it could be a literal game changer, or it could just be meh. Quality of life update.
alrighty, I did another poll question too, since we're nearing the end of the solstice conversation.
Okay.
Like, how many people enjoyed the event and how many people didn't like the event. And actually, it was 84% of people really liked the event. And it was only 16 that didn't. So that's pretty cool. Like, obviously the numbers that I have aren't too high, but it's a general like idea. And,
Yeah.
like I said at first, I was like dreading it because I know like there was a leak that showed us what we had to do, but it didn't show us like the amount of things we had to do. So I was actually playing with Josh. He got out of the green gear set to blue gear, and he was telling me everything, and I was just like, no. But then after doing it myself, I realized it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Well, last year we had 3 or 3 tiers.
Yeah.
We started out with white gear.
It's true.
I'm so glad they didn't do that this year.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Oh boy. That would have been scary.
Yeah. I mean, like we've been saying, I think the event is. I think everyone's overall happy with the event. We're just seeing a lot of people being very vocal about not liking it.
Yeah.
And I think they're in the very small minority of the community.
I think a lot of people will change their minds too once they start doing it and realizing, hey, it's really not that hard. You just gotta play the game. You know?
Yeah, like just scrolling through Reddit, the subreddit here, most of the people are just complaining about the mini bosses, which, whatever.
It's not
You're gonna
that
be
bad.
playing. I figure the majority of the people are gonna be playing the activity a bunch anyway. So
Yeah.
at least I am.
Personally, I'd complain less about the requirements if the requirements didn't make me wear gear instead of exotics.
Say that again?
So, if the requirements didn't make me wear a certain piece of gear instead of an exotic that I like to wear in that piece. Luckily, I got all the Warlock helmet stuff done pretty easily, so I was just running Nezarec Sin most of the time. But there were a few of them where it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to end up running that build because I need this exotic. And I don't want to take off that piece of gear and not get credit. So, but small complaint. Yes, how to do Gambit Prime without wearing a set because it's still faster is the worst. Oh my god, I hate it.
What did Johnny say? I had the Twitter up in the Discord for a while. So by the way, guys, we are Apex Destiny 2.
Wait,
and we run a Discord. If you guys are not a part of it, come and join. It's good times in there. We have fun.
We have clans too. Rabbit would yell at us if we don't plug that.
We got clans. He's actually reworking them. I hope. I sent him to Legion. He was speaking a bunch of computer terms that I took it as disrespect. I didn't understand what he was saying. So I was like, listen.
About what?
He has the clan system now. He found one. It was gonna introduce the idea to me, but I was like, I'm not the guy to introduce that to because I'll fuck that up. So I sent him over to Legion. It seems like he has an idea to kind of like mesh them all together somehow, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work out or not.
We'll see.
But yeah, that ends the portion for Solstice. Now we can go right into questions. Our favorite part.
Nervous Rex reworking clan system, and that is for staff only.
We'll talk later, X.
To make your life a lot easier, maybe.
All right,
How were the tacos?
What
Says
tacos?
Johnny Seeds.
Says real questions. Edit out one here. What do each of you want to see from in the most in Shadowkeep? Anybody want to take that one first?
A nerf to Mountaintop
Sounds
and
good.
Reckless, please.
Ooh.
And remove Kill Clip and Rampage from the game. Thank you.
Says that every episode now.
Just
Keep
have
that
a
as trend.
Nightbot auto post that we want to get rid of Rampage and Kill Clip. That'll be easier.
Bad perks from the game.
Yeah. For me, I want to see greater diversity of like the environments we're in instead of just having all these very close confined areas that we're getting. Have some bigger and better map design. So like it doesn't necessarily need to be like giant battlefields we're playing on, but like have like better map designs to where you can do different play styles so that we can get the scouts and bows to see a little bit more love, and then the people that want to be more close combat oriented still have the opportunity to in the map. So that's what I want to see, and like that also translates not just from PvP but for PvE.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I suppose realistically, I'd want bows to get a buff, please. I don't know what they need to do to make them viable, but if they can make them viable, I would be very happy. They're a lot of fun to use, but they're so bad.
You hear that, King Pug? King Pug is my nephew. He just got Hush last night. He was super pumped about it, but I was like,
Hush is a fantastic weapon.
there you go.
Try it with Top Tree Gunslinger.
There you go, bud.
It's way more fun than normal.
For me, I don't know if we're getting a full raid, but I expect that we're getting a full raid. Kind of
We
like
are.
like a Forsaken size raid, not like a layer. And
I
I'm
don't think it'll
looking-
be Last Wish, but it should be
No,
at
yeah,
least
but
Leviathan.
maybe a little bigger than the layers, and that's fine with me. One more encounter or whatever. But I'm like super pumped to go back to the Black Garden and see what that is all about, because I have no idea whether you're going to take that. So that's what I'm looking forward to most, and I won't even be able to do it.
You'll be able to do it.
Not on
Just
day
not
one.
day one.
It's a
Just don't watch
Saturday.
it. Just
It's a
pretend it's day one
Saturday.
later.
No, dude, I can't even do it that weekend. I'm gonna probably have to do it on the Monday. Sad times. Yeah, sad times.
What do we think of the orb effects? So like the solar explosion, like you're pulsing the solar damage, void crouch invisible. So the void crouch invisibility, and then arc is increased speeds,
I don't know if I'm using
regen
it
sword
right,
ammo.
but I feel like they were underwhelming.
They're good effects that don't really break the game if you're good at using them, but they can change the way you're playing a bit. So, personally, I don't care about. I'm not going to change the weapon I'm using to match the day, just so I can get those effects. But if you are, whatever.
I mean, I really like them. Like, the solar one, I think, is probably my favorite because like if you're doing the mind bender strike, and at the very end where like it's the back room and the ads are just like spawning all right there at the back of the room, and you can just stand right in the middle of them, and they all aggro to you and run to you, and then they just explode with the solar aura going off of you. So that's really cool. And then my second favorite would be the arc with like the increased movement speeds and all.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yep. And then supposedly that's how the community is like destroying raid bosses right now in like 3 seconds with that whole like 1-2 punch thing, and then the added aura as well. What do you guys think of the rumors of hidden areas in the EAZ and the possibility of them being linked to Yallarhorn?
Oh, I think I
Um,
stumbled upon that by accident because my ass couldn't jump in the EAZ, and then in the bottom area by like this like sewer thing, but it was locked, and I was like, "Yo, this looks like a secret freaking area." I'm sure it was found before I even got there or whatever, but I have no idea. I don't even know if I want them to bring Gallahorn back.
Please don't.
Like, I
It's
love
not
the
gonna be-
weapon. Go ahead.
I don't think it's gonna be brought right
Yeah.
now. It's like such a huge marketing pool that it's gonna be saved for.
Destiny 3,
Um,
maybe, right?
No, I would say one of the seasons of Shadowkeep to help since they're individual piecemeal events that you purchase separately. I think it'll be probably like the second season to help sell that one. So I imagine if it's the same as this past year we got, the second one was the lightest, and I would see Yellowhorn coming back to, bump up the sales for the second season.
People have been saying that since we still have the Fallen Transponder in our inventories, it might be the Dragon's Breath instead.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Yo, people
more
will be so upset.
that'll come. Well, like the Dragon's Breath is like really cool. Like
Yeah, but wasn't it
drops a
really bad
napalm.
though?
It was really good in like solar. Like
And
when
then
you
they
had
messed it
solar
up. I
singe.
think they nerfed it or something, and then it made
Bungie
it
messes
like
up all of them.
yeah, like they messed it up to the point where no one used it. I remember that. Like it was laughed at for a while.
Well, it was just because Gallahorn was also solar. It was
That
like
and
a
just
million
dominated
times
the game.
better.
Even when they nerfed Gallahorn, it was still like the best DPS weapon in the game.
Well, yeah, it was still stronger.
So
And then imagine that coming back now with the million of reload options we have now. That would just make rockets ridiculous. But yeah, I think so because like we have the Solar Week coming up as like an event.
Hypothetically, they've never actually said anything about it.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where the speculation of Dragon's Breath is coming from. Which
Yeah. Well, they
I
definitely
would love to
teased.
see.
They definitely teased at Gallahorn, or at least like an Easter egg, right? With
The black market thing?
Yeah, the spider had it. The replica for sale for the 20 engrams or whatever it was. So they
For the
teased.
20 exotic engrams.
Yeah. So they teased it. I don't know if this tease or an Easter egg, like homage to it or whatever, but like their
Well,
point.
I'd love to see it because it's such a cool exotic. It just
It's sexy. The gun is beautiful.
For those that don't know, it's kind of like it looks like the what is it, Bullet Bill from Mario. Like it kind of looks like that, but it has like a dragon on the side, and it essentially breathes fire. Like it drops like a giant solar napalm on the ground. So like you shoot the rocket, it's like a napalm of fire. So it's really really cool, and like you get that going with like Solar Singe and like Heavyweight, and you're just gonna destroy like a group of ads, and then probably depending on how good it is, you can probably bake some bosses pretty good too, with them just sitting in the napalm of it.
That would be nice. It takes too long to kill bosses right now. I think we need something else that can melt them quickly. Change up, the slow boss meta that we currently have.
Yeah, super slow. We're doing multiple phases of damage.
It's not funny, Josh. Josh earlier in the week decided to yell out in the middle of like an activity we were doing that the Gallahorn was found and that we needed to leave our activity and go. And I got so excited that I almost left the fire team and everything to go do it. And he just stayed there laughing at me. But like, you know how Josh gets. He was believable, okay? Like I promise. It was believable. What a fool. Any more questions, guys? Come on.
Bringing back Gjallarhorn like it was in year one, where you had to have it, and the RNG was bad for it, would be one of the worst things they could do for the game. So please don't do that.
Well,
Most of the stuff
quest,
they brought,
I would say.
yeah, but they
it would
made it
have
a
to be a
quest.
quest.
They made it a quest in Rise of Iron. If you like,
Okay.
yeah. So like, if you
Yeah.
didn't ever get it or whatever, you just did it's like any other exotic quest. You did the quest, and at the end of it, Gjallarhorn is yours. So I would imagine if they did bring it back, it would be along with like all the other exotics we've been getting like that. Give me no land.
Screw that one.
I mean, we don't
No
need
flinch
it.
having ass.
We don't need it either because of the, like Bite of the Foxes and just the supremacy and all that. So I don't know. I just have obsession with that weapon.
Yeah.
Josh, did you
Anything
link
else?
my page there again, you son of a gun? He keeps doing that to me.
Doesn't look like we have any more questions.
Awesome. I
Anything
think
else we wanted to talk about?
we
not-
actually hit an hour. It's actually pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's with the
It's almost
delay.
like we're getting better at this.
Yeah.
now.
Cool.
Oh no, that's Legion's Truth Quest. So if you guys don't have the truth and you need a good guide,
Hey,
click on that
Josh,
link.
I don't know how to do Kali. Do you know of anyone who could teach me how?
yeah.
The grenade launcher and beta that we have now, I think it's fine, but it's like starting to get flavorless.
Oh, I almost didn't mention. Ear Avison is one of the bosses in the Hive version of the EAZ,
Mhm.
and quite possibly my favorite boss. Friendship
the
with
one that
Callus.
splits,
The
Ear
one-
Avison is Bay now.
the one that splits into two.
Yes,
It's
the one
annoying.
that splits into two. She drops
Yeah,
void puddles on
I
the
like
ground.
that one a lot.
She shoots out fire.
Someone was
It's
saying
awesome.
that boss, like that kind of mechanic, or like that boss was already seen in like PS exclusive Strike.
I think
It's
so.
like,
I think that's
Okay,
a PS the Brood Mother thing, or
Yeah.
Brood whatever. which will be fun to play come September because exclusives.
Bye bye. I love that that's gone.
But we need way more bosses like her and way fewer like Gowron, where it's like, hey, look at me, I'm gonna Pepe hands at you, and you're just gonna shoot me. Can't you just
And I'm
stand
not
still
gonna do
while I
anything.
throw
Spear
things
fingers.
at you? It's so stupid. It if we had bosses like Ear Avison where she's moving around, you can't just sit in a well. They'd have to buff the fire to a ridiculous point though because of well. Maybe we should just make a campaign to get that out of the game.
Yeah, that was like something I did think of when doing that boss is like all they need to do really to the really boring bakes we do is just, like a move. Like as stupid as that sounds, the bosses just move around. We can't.
You could make it an
bake
insta
as
kill
well.
if you get hit by it. It would definitely be a reaction to well, but like if you did that in a raid fight, you just drop a well halfway behind a box and then have people move back there. Yeah, but anyway, that kind of boss is great. I love it. I really want to see more of those. That would be the number one thing I want to see out of Shadowkeep.
Yeah.
Better bosses, because the grenade launcher meta, grenade launchers are fun, but when you're standing in a well looking at a giant fat ass half naked orc who's making Pepe hands at you, it's boring. You just sit there and shoot at it and you don't have to do anything. I mean, you have to shoot his hands, but like that's minimal effort.
It is, and for me anyway, it feels like you have forever to do it too.
You have at least a minute. It's
Yeah,
way too long.
yeah. It should be pretty like tight window there, but yeah.
But
I feel the same about the grenade launcher meta. Like I liked it at first a lot, especially when I got my hands on it. But like I'd be okay with them going away and for us like using something else.
Oh, I would
For
if
sure.
they can make more bosses like Bay instead of like fat oily boy. I would be totally fine with grenade launchers because they're kind of a high skill weapon. You can't just like point and shoot. You gotta adjust for. You have to actually aim them and know how you're gonna hit with it,
Yeah.
not just look at someone and fire like a rocket launcher. Oh my god.
Yeah. Agreed.
Anyway, that's all I have.
I think that's
I
gonna
as
be
well.
it. We have one more question.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's all.
So that's gonna be it. But guys, if you're not a part of the community, come join our community. The links are at the bottom of the page there. They got links for Legionless's Twitter, Faces, my own. Yeah.
I have to check that.
I'm gonna post the YouTube clip of this probably tomorrow. It takes a little while to render. And then yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for coming out.
Yep.
Thanks a lot,
See you
Sorry
guys.
late.